Eating meat is natural. Just look at these canines.
No claws on the human hand. Claws are a trademark of the carnivore and the omnivore. We have carbohydrate digestive enzymes in our saliva. Only herbivores possess that, meaning we're supposed to be eating tons of carbohydrates like fruits and vegetables. Our teeth, broad, short, blunt, flat, just like the teeth of other herbivores. And before somebody blurts out, "Hey Gary, what about these canines, dog?" Most of the herbivores have canines, incisors, and molars. It would not be possible for them, for us, to be eating hard fruit like apples without those teeth. Our lower jaw goes from side to side in a grinding, chewing motion, like this. We grind and chew when we eat. If you grind and chew when you eat like you all do, you are an herbivore.
Our ancestors ate meat. We've always done it.
You may have heard that people are hunter-gatherers. And when people start talking about hunting and gathering, what they're trying to get to is that you're designed as a meat eater. Actually, hunting and gathering throughout human history has been primarily gathering. Gathering is what mainly took place in almost all societies. Hunting was a very inefficient thing to do. But gathering didn't get a lot of notoriety because gathering was done by children and women and old people. They're not very important. The important people in all societies are men. And so men once in a while would go out and kill something which they'd be able to eat for a day or two before it rotted. But if it wasn't for the fact that the women and the children and the old people were gathering the calories from plants, these civilizations would not have survived.
Animals eat other animals.
I want you to go outside and locate a squirrel on campus. And when you spot that squirrel, put that carnivore speed into effect that everybody has and chase that squirrel down, pounce on him, and catch him in your mouth. No tools, no weapons, no cages. No one's allowed to be a cheater and a fake carnivore with this challenge. And when you are done killing the squirrel in your mouth, be my guest, eat the squirrel. Eyes, nose, face, toes, tail, anus, inner organs, blood, fur, and don't forget about the brains. You don't get to pick and choose which body parts you want to eat, and you don't get to cook it either. If people want to be real meat eaters, I'd love to see people eat raw flesh from the bone, down to the bone, with nothing left but the bones, day after day after day. And challenge number 2, find a 2-year-old child. Place the child in a crib. In the crib, put 2 things. A live bunny rabbit, and an apple. If the child eats the bunny rabbit and plays with the apple, send me an email, would you? Let me know, because I'm going to come back and buy everyone in this room a brand new car if that happens. Benzes and Beamers, leather interior too. In fact, next time I'm at Georgia Tech, if that happens, I will eat a steak sandwich in front of everybody, chase it down with a chili dog with extra cheese, a bucket of ice cream, and a bag of beef jerky too. And I'll take the jerky and I'll dip it in the ice cream and eat it like that. Now I would not hold my breath on these promises, not that I won't fulfill them, I'm a man of my word, but those things cannot and will not be happening because humans also possess 0 carnivorous instincts.
My doctor tells me to eat meat to get my protein.
You mean where do I not get animal-based protein? That's always the question people think is they can't imagine that protein could come from anywhere other than animal sources. Which is amazing because in the rest of the world, not in America, but in the rest of the world, people get their protein from plant-based sources or from beans and that sort of thing. But in America, we've associated meat and protein as being inseparable. So people always ask this question, where do you get your protein? There's no protein deficiencies in America anywhere, but we have this fear that there's this lack of protein, that we need protein, which is all commercially motivated. So they, you know, advertisers have been successful in pushing that thesis forward that you have to have animal protein to have protein. But plant-based protein is the strongest source, especially for human beings. So, I mean, I don't have fangs, I have, you know, these stubby fingers. I don't know if I had a deer in the woods, I don't know how I'd kill it. I don't know how I'd tear into it, really, without a weapon. So, but I can go up to a tree and pluck off an apple or an orange, a piece of fruit.
I need to drink milk to get my calcium. Where else could I get my calcium from?
You know, I'm glad you're recording this. People need to know the truth. People also need to know that there's blood and pus in my milk. My udder is infected from getting milked all the time. Ugh.
Yeah, it's called mastitis. Too bad for you. People need to drink milk to get their calcium.
Oh, all right, calcium, here we go. So what is calcium?
Calcium? Calcium is a mineral.
Calcium, yeah, and where do I get my calcium from?
You get it from what you eat. Grass.
Yeah, where does the grass get the calcium from? From the ground. Calcium is a mineral. Minerals come from the ground.
Well, yeah, of course.
Why can't people get their calcium from eating plants that grow from the ground?
I suppose they could, but they like drinking milk. It's what they're used to, drinking cow milk.
Yeah, well, I hope they like drinking blood and pus, too, because that's in my milk as well. You know, I'm really glad you're recording this. Finally, people are going to learn the truth about milk. My milk. It doesn't just come from a carton.
If we all went vegan, what would we do with all the animals? The animals, they'd overrun us.
It's like saying if we don't knock down all the trees, the leaves are going to take over. If we don't pull out all the celery's going to take over. What the fuck's the sheep going to do? Steal your car? The likely scenario is that more and more people would become vegan. It would be a gradual thing. And factory farms would gradually decrease the number of animals they bred for slaughter.
People come before animals.
Saving people from diseases. Instead of giving factory-farmed animals veterinary care, they're given gross amounts of antibiotics. This is an extremely dangerous thing, as the more antibiotics we use, the more strains of viruses and bacteria grow immune to it. These new and resistant strains of viruses have been killing people over the last decades. Lifestyle diseases caused by animal product consumption are the biggest killers of people in Western cultures. Vegans often inspire other people around them to improve their diets as well, thus not only reduces their risk, but those around them, of getting meat-eater diseases like heart attacks and diabetes.
I'd go vegan, but it's too expensive.
Towards vegetarians or vegans, what would be the difference in price?
It's going to be cheaper. There's a big myth out there that it's more expensive to be veg, and let me explain this in a couple different ways. Now, first of all, the cheapest things on the market are cruelty-free and vegan. Rice, beans, lentils, pastas, things like that. Keep in mind, this is why poor people, impoverished people around the world, they're vegetarians. Eating meat is a luxury. It's only cheap in America because we subsidize the hell out of it. And I want you to put one thing into the equation that nobody ever wants to put into the equation. Health. Pharmaceuticals, hospital visits, doctor visits, all these pills, all the vitamins, healthcare. That stuff was not created for vegan. Those are meat-eating creations. I'm about to turn 40 in August. I have no health care. I take no vitamins. I see no doctor. I don't need to. I eat properly and I exercise. So if you put health into the equation, meat-eating is the most expensive diet out there for sure.
God put animals on this earth for us to use as we please.
I think the mindset of believing that nature is here for us to control still lives with us today. Because the problem for me in all of this is that we think that animals are here for us. And it's that mindset that enables us to do anything and everything we want and want to them and can to them, right? So I think so much of it has to do with that idea that they're here for ours to take. They're here for ours to make our entertainment. They're here for us to exploit. They're here for us to take the reproductive system and control them in every way. So, you know, what happens when, I mean, a lot is affected by that, both from a species level but also individually.
Plants have feelings too.
And you want it on a diagonal, as I said, and you know, you can take that diagonal wider or you can keep it short.